Wonderful. Great to see everyone here. I am Mitch Raeck. I am here to talk to everyone about our Arena Club working group that we've got going on here. It's great to be a part of the members assembly here. All right. So our goals for this meeting, we're going to share the work the Arena Club working group has done so far. We're going to give a look to the future and our plans for this year and beyond, and we are going to hear from you. Really excited for that part, especially. And also, if you have any questions, you want to get anything out there, feel free to type it in the chat, or I don't know if you're in person. I guess tell someone.
I'll manage that.
Yeah. And we'll do our best to get to it. If I don't have a great answer for you, we'll bring it to the group and we'll get a good answer for you. All right. So about us, I'm Mitch Raeck. I am president of the Lansing Curling Club. I started curling in 2018. The Lansing Curling Club has summer ice. So I kind of call us a Southern Hemisphere club because our winter is in the summer. And that picture of me is at one of our luau nights. We have some fun theme nights. I'm a middle school science teacher, and I've also umpired at the men's, women's nationals, mixed doubles nationals, and college nationals.
And my name is Theresa Klingbile. I am retention and development with Sioux Falls Curling Club. I started in 2014, the inaugural year for Sioux Falls Curling Club. I am a benefit specialist with the state of South Dakota, and I've also had the opportunity to be a member of 3 different curling clubs. I started in Sioux Falls and spent about 4 years in Fargo, getting to curl on dedicated ice. And then I came back to the area and I was given the opportunity to help the first year of curling at Brookings Curling Club. And now I am back to where it all started, and I am still curling with Sioux Falls Curling.
Tremendous. Excellent. So about our working group, we were organized in November 2022, right about when Dean headed took over with us. We have 12 members plus Dean, who I think has been on just about every meeting. I think maybe during championship season, but just about every single one. So we try to meet monthly, and we advocate for arena clubs to the governing body. We are discussing the various challenges that arena clubs have to deal with, and solutions for all of that. And we are kind of a meeting of the minds a bit, where we kind of, get information from each other, what works, what might not work, and our best practices that we can put that information out to all the other arena clubs there. And then we've also been charged with making Arena Nationals a great event and optimizing that further on in the future. So why have a group for arena clubs to the governing body? So arena clubs are some of our biggest growth opportunities. We have that set, arena clubs have that set, volunteer base, some very dedicated volunteers. And if you can get those to dedicated ice, we see it a lot. When they go to dedicated ice, those membership numbers really grow, really explode, because, you have that expertise already. So if you can get those arena clubs to dedicated, that growth can really happen. These are also some of our most vulnerable clubs. They are kind of living sometimes contract to contract with with hockey ice arenas. So because of that, they could move rinks. They have all sorts of issues there. And their membership sizes are a little bit smaller. And a lot of these clubs are pretty new. The longtime dedicated clubs, have been around forever. But if you have a new club that comes in and joins USA Curling, I would say most of the time, the vast majority of the time, it's an arena club. And these are our new clubs. These are some inexperienced board members, inexperienced everything, right, with running a curling club. And there are so many unique challenges that arena clubs have, ranging from there's a new rink manager and we have to negotiate a new contract with them, all the way down to what's our mailing address. So there are so many challenges that arena clubs have specifically that DI clubs don't have. However, many of these things that we are trying to fix and solve are very applicable to dedicated ice clubs as well. Yeah. So the things that we have been up to over the past year, we've been doing town halls and virtual education sessions. We've had several of those, and we'll be talking about those in a little bit. We've been working on arena nationals and things pertaining to that, and then adding things to the USTA Our House content platform that dropped what, a few months ago in summer, and
Right.
that's been awesome. Yes. So Theresa has a little bit on our virtual education sessions.
So now you get to hear me. I am going to discuss the virtual education sessions that we have had, and then this is just showing that our upcoming session is dealing with scraping and pebbling technique. What we really are rotating between ice quality and club operations sessions, and these sessions have great information, but it also gives you an opportunity to ask questions. And there's not a lot of time, if you're an arena club and you're like, let's say I'm in South Dakota and there's not a great opportunity for you to have your voice heard. These are sessions where you can ask questions. And if you give me 1 second, I am going to post in the chat the where all the sessions are on the website. It's on the website under programming. I can't share my screen. 1 second, let me try to share my screen.
Okay, if I have to end it, that's fine too. I might have to do that.
1 second. Sorry, guys.
Yeah.
That's all right. I think if you might need Mitch to stop sharing, maybe.
There we go.
Oh.
Go to town. There we go.
Okay, 1 second. Now, of course, I have to pull it up.
Yeah, you're the first people to have any technical challenges today. It's just been everybody else has been 100% smooth. Including me. I can't even use my own computer right now, so.
No.
Oh man.
Well, it's a lot like Mitch has said, arena curling. We deal with the unexpected. For example, having ridges on our ice to, it's super high, humid here, so our ice is crazy. Okay, give me 1 second. I'm going to try to share my screen. Okay. Can everybody see this?
Yes.
Perfect. Woohoo! So as you can see, it's under membership and programming. I think it's great if anybody has a chance to get to that USA Curling website and really look over all the new information on there. And if you go all the way down to virtual education, you can kind of click on that. And it really shows where you can go to watch them if you weren't able to get to it on time or that day. You have a lot to do and you didn't watch it. And it also has Lauren's information on there if you have any questions, concerns, or just have a comment about how we did. So it shows right away that upcoming session, scraping and technique. Sean Olson is presenting. He's a world of knowledge, so it's exciting to have him be able to present to everybody. Maybe it's not geared towards arena, but I would suggest watching it because it's about pebble head selection, water, everything. And then our September session was Arena Club Management with Sandra McMakin. And I was on this call and it was great to be on because there were a lot of questions and I feel like the questions were prevalent to every club. And she had some wonderful information on how to start, what happens in the middle, and where do you go. And our first one was that June, making ice in arena settings. Always good to have. I would strongly suggest if you're struggling with your ice, watch this session. There were questions as well. And so I think I will stop sharing. Mitch?
All right, let's see how smoothly this goes.
I'm optimistic.
All right, we are here.
I've been told I'm pretty smooth.
Yeah. Excellent slideshow. Lovely. Okay. So, thank you so much. Check those out. So for Arena Nationals, we have heard from 2022 Arena Nationals participants through surveys, and it's been pretty good. Arena Nationals is a good event, with the exception of a couple complaints about the food. It's going very well. Arena Nationals is an event that we are really proud of as a governing body. Our goal here is to increase participation. We want more clubs, more arena clubs, thinking that Arena Nationals is a possibility for them. So we are asking questions like, how do we make this event more accessible to more clubs, especially on the women's side? I think that's a thing across the entire sport, but getting more women's involvement is so important here. So we have been looking at solutions with eligibility, format, location, timing. Basically, just about everything's on the table for this. And the big thing that I kind of want to focus on is how do we limit going to that fill policy when we have regions that don't have clubs sending teams? How can we get a representative from every region, right? And one of the things that we've come to the conclusion with that we are really trying to encourage with the regions is playdowns for Arena Nationals. I think a lot of the time, certain times it's just been who can make it, and we'll send them down from our region. And we really do want to play down and have an event for that and make that happen. Sometimes it's just been, hey, these two clubs have teams at a Bonspiel. Can we play and do that? I mean, that could work as a play down. If you have two arena clubs that are interested in that, you can do it. It doesn't have to be a whole thing, but we would prefer if there was a play down for that. So Arena Nationals, in the past, it was, pre-COVID, I would say late spring into summer. Now we are moving it into that November date, and we're finding unique challenges with that date, especially with deer hunting season, getting volunteers from the host club, because our location is going to be dedicated ice clubs for the foreseeable future, just because of ice availability, cost, and all that stuff. It looks like that's going to be at a dedicated ice club, but that's good. We want them playing on good ice, and effective ice, and we can get our ice makers there to prep the ice and make things perfect for them, so they're playing on real championship ice.
Can I jump in for just a sec here, Mitch? So I do want everybody to know who's watching that, last year's Arena Nationals came together very late. It was the first year we sort of had a process with 12 men's, try to have 12 men's, 12 women's teams. I would say, that was actually my first week in the position. I think I went there, and I think it went pretty well, but certainly we recognized that there was room for improvement, including how we communicated the process to get to it. This past year, we did get ahead of the communications, and most associations ran playdowns of sorts, and we have a full field. As Mitch said, it's difficult to have, for arena clubs to often have playdowns. I think the folks in Maca who are on, they actually all flew up and rented the ice in Blaine and did their play down there. And then in terms of, I think we're going to make this one better again this year. It's at Kuromasabi. We're grateful that they're hosting. They actually moved it 1 week back so it doesn't conflict with Minnesota deer hunting season. So that's been helpful. But we will need another venue going forward. And the reason originally this championship was held in arena clubs or arena facilities, it's difficult to make that financially viable. So if there are dedicated ice clubs who are interested in this, we'd love to hear from you. If we can make it work financially in an arena setting, we could do that, but it has to make sense financially. So I'll stop there, Mitch. Thanks.
Thank you so much. And since we're going to be hosting this event at a dedicated ice club, there was a spot for the host club that can't really have it. So we have decided that we are endorsing a decision of win and you're in. So we are going to try this out. The 2023 Arena Nationals champions will have spots at 2024 Arena Nationals, and that's going to be very exciting. a little more of an incentive to win it. So that should be pretty exciting there. And then, with 12 teams, 10 regions, champion, there's one more at-large spot, and this is something that we've been working on. One of my brainchildren, I guess, is an Arena Nationals qualifier bonspiel. Now, this is very much in the formative stage, but I do want to gush about it a little bit. We're working on this. Hopefully, we can make this happen. But it would be a new event. It would be it is formative, but we want to style it after the 5 and under playdowns. The 5 and under playdowns have been very successful and very popular, and just a really good gathering of the minds of 5 and under players. And that is something that is valuable with Arena Nationals, kind of a gathering of arena clubs. And we want more opportunities to do that and just get arena clubs in the same place, sharing stories and tips and just everything. This event would have the same eligibility rules as Arena Nationals. It would be formatted like a weekend bonspiel taking place at a dedicated ice club. So it'd be formatted just like that. A his and hers format. So with basically, because the winner gets a spot at Arena Nationals, there's a men's and women's side. It would need to be 2 concurrent brackets, probably set up like that. We have had plenty of bonspiels like that, and that's very doable. And we are thinking about this being a last chance event. Other regions have declared their teams, and if you want to get that last spot for Arena Nationals, come on down and play for it and win it. So it would be probably around September-ish. Probably we want to give them enough notice and be able to plan for all that. But yeah, this is going to be primarily just kind of a good event for arena clubs, and the Arena Nationals qualification is kind of the cherry, I think. And what Dean said, we're looking for hosts for Arena Nationals. Well, we're looking for maybe a host for this event as well. It wouldn't need to be that big of a club, just enough to do a bonspiel. But yes, this is still very much in its beginning stages, but we're getting excited about this, and we want to share this with everyone.
So I love this idea. I think we should just make real clear so that the way the Arena Nationals will qualify is each region will have a spot. We have a fill policy for regions that don't send a team, which is fewer and fewer. And then the defending champion will get a spot. And I think just to avoid any confusion, Mitch, you referred to it as at large. It's basically just another spot, right? An additional spot. It's not for at large clubs. It's for anybody who wants to, play in this for a chance to get the last spot in the Arena National. So yeah, a host for this would be fantastic. And I think whoever takes it on will have a great event. Yes.
I'm extremely excited for this, and travel permitting, I just want to come down and see it happen. Next up, the Our House content platform. Theresa, you had some stuff on that?
Yeah. Can I share my screen quick?
Yes. Let me unshare mine. Just a second. We're getting better.
We're just going to go out and get coffee, and we'll be right back.
Hey, we're getting better and better.
I know. I did see we are kind of cutting it on time, so I can just explain.
You're fine. You're fine. Don't worry about it.
Okay. Do you see it?
Yes.
Perfect. Okay, so I just wanted to go over, we are grateful enough to have the Our House USA Curling platform, which it has a ton of information. And the one thing that the Arena Club work group has been working on is getting information for this platform. Primarily right now, it is more so a lot of information on prep, like ice stuff, like chest freezer, drawing lines, all of this information. So if you're a curling, an arena club, I would suggest looking at all of this. But what is exciting is if you see on here, there's learn to curl information, new facility planning, and I think the huge thing here is there's business plans that you can look at as an arena club where you're potentially looking at going more towards a dedicated facility. It's just a great platform to have as arena curlers. regardless if it is talking about dedicated ice information. USA Curling has made this platform is huge in my opinion. If you're an arena curler looking at wanting to introduce youth league to your club, there is information on that in here as well. If you give me 1 second, I will find it. There's information on coaching.
Under youth programming, I think, but I just want to say, Theresa, while you look for that, I did not know you were going to tout our content platform so much. I appreciate it. I'm glad, but I just want people to know I didn't set this up and script you on this. So yeah, but definitely appreciate it.
No, you did not. And actually, I kind of jumped right into the platform because I didn't realize as a curler how much information was on it. And so personally, just being on a board, I have gained information on this to take back to my club. And yeah, and here is the youth curling. There's developing a program and there's a ton of resources. So as an arena club, I know we might not think about youth programs. There's huge information out on that. I will stop sharing my screen now, and I will stop gushing about our platform.
I'm thrilled that you did. I just didn't want people to think I set you up. I will say too, the platform is meant to be an evolving, growing thing. So it's really should never be finished. This is the initial amount, first blush of information, and we're going to keep adding and adding over the years. So it is called Our House because it's for everybody in our community to use and contribute to.
Yeah. So what's next for our group? Well, 2023 Arena Nationals are a few weeks away. That's crazy. The year is flying by. So we are paying close attention to how that goes and what athletes there think. We are going to be planning and working on that qualifier bonspiel. More virtual education sessions, and once again talking about that Our House content platform. We're going to be expanding that. We're thinking it's more about business pertaining to arena clubs, learn to curls with arena clubs, rink relations, and working with that hockey ice arena, trying to get them knowing a little bit more about curling. We've been talking about a brochure, curling for hockey people, kind of thing. And some path to dedicated stuff as well. And of course, your requests. We are nothing without requests from our arena club members. If you have any questions for us, any issues, anything where it's like, man, it's really hard as an arena club to do this, get with us. We are more than happy to help you out with that. And like I said, if there are any questions, I don't know how much time we have for questions, but we are always open to those questions. My email address is right there. Theresa's email address is right there. And also, a big thing about this club is that it's really open to arena ice minded people. So if you are interested in joining us, Theresa has a link to that. It'll be in the chat right now. I was trying to get a shortened link on it, but I don't know. It's still a pain in the butt to type in, bit.ly/ a whole bunch of letters and numbers.
So that is in the chat right about that, like 1:33 time frame. It's just arena curler contact information. Even if you have any suggestions, you can always contact the arena work group through that, because we are, like Mitch is saying, we want suggestions. We want to help arena clubs with this work group.
Yeah, absolutely.
But
absolutely.
A question here from the floor.
All righty.
Back to Arena Nationals, Dean, you talked a lot about the location, the justification for DI and that kind of thing. The question I hear most often from people is why November? That's a tough date for clubs who don't meet in the summertime and playdowns and all that sort of organizational part. So do we see November shifting at all, or can we have an answer for those who are wondering how do we put all that together so quickly?
Well, I think that's barely a question for me. And I would say the reason we like it in November is it separates it. We're trying to not have all our championships within that same window, right? So when it's in November, we can give it some more attention, quite frankly. And I think I think this year, most of the regions did their playdowns in any time between May and August. There's also a lot of arena clubs that only play in the summer. They get ice in the summertime. So, you know, is it ideal for everybody? Probably not, but I don't think February would be ideal for everybody either. And it's, you know, it's difficult it's a good time because it lets us really focus on it. So for the short term, I would say it's likely to stay there.
So spreading the USDA resources.
Spreading our schedule out, our championship schedule, because otherwise, you know, when we go back to back to back to back weeks, and inevitably, something doesn't get the attention it deserves. I mean, it's one reason why, for instance, we moved U18s to January. And I know whenever we move a championship, someone, for a good reason, will say, here's my problem with that date. But I guess the reality is there's no perfect date for everything. That doesn't mean we don't look at it at the end of the year, or we won't look at it at the end of the year and say, is everything in the best spot? Are there any other questions from the chat?
Let me scroll here.
Oh, Wayne Anderson has a question.
Every time I'm in Chaska, I'm amazed at how it's a win-win for both curlers and the community, how they work together on that. And I'm sure there's other success stories where the community benefits by having a curling club and this. For you arena clubs who are trying to maybe go dedicated or whatever, is there any way that they can learn from the success of those clubs that had a win-win, how they went about working with the local government and stuff like that, rather than reinvent the wheel, get the best practices in working with them?
And I would say absolutely. I think that's one of our goals in this arena work group is to find examples like that to share with other arena curlers.
Yeah, and furthermore, we're looking at, you know, non-traditional ways. You know, you don't necessarily have to build an arena. You know, there are clubs that have managed to basically rent an entire sheet from a rink that has maybe too many rinks, and they just make that.
Kalamazoo.
Really, exactly. That's Kalamazoo, yeah. Which is a great situation, and we're sharing those kinds of strategies as well.
I will say on that, Wayne, you know, two good stories I think that are going to happen, fingers crossed. Huntsville, Alabama is getting very close to a real facility, a dedicated ice facility. I actually wrote a letter endorsing it, promised to bring a championship there. I will, by the way, I will promise anybody trying to get to dedicated ice, I will promise a championship there. We'll figure it out, but I'll promise something, because sometimes that helps the municipal government. Same thing with Missoula, Montana. They're pursuing a public-private partnership like that. I always encourage arena clubs to keep all options open, right? So it could be public-private partnership. If it's private enterprise that wants to come in and believes in a business model, don't be afraid to have that if that means you're going to get to good curling ice and it's the right business partner, of course. So lots of different options out there. And hopefully, as we develop the content platform and this group continues their work, we get more examples to put in there. We do need to do some more work just on the value of curling clubs to communities, though, Wayne. We just had a study done by Michael Cantors at NC State with some good information about how valuable a curling club can be, a curling facility is in a community.
And even smaller scale on that, how valuable curling can be to a hockey rink.
Right. You know, one of the things I learned from working with your group is it's not always about, oh, we got to get to dedicated ice. There's also the factor of how can we make our current situation as good as it can be. And that was, you know, a little bit of an eye opener for me because you know, first of all, I think you guys are the most dedicated curlers we have. I mean, I'm crazy about curling and I don't know if I lift rocks out of a freezer every week. So good for you for all doing that. But yeah, I mean, part of this group has been about how do we make setup easier and make sure the rocks are cold, et cetera. So I've appreciated it.
Yep, that's what you got to do when you're paying by the hour, you know.
Any other questions? Sorry, go ahead, Theresa.
Nope, that's okay. John, in the chat from Long Island said noted some form of championship on Long Island ice incoming, hopefully soon. So it sounds like there's some good things brewing in Long Island.
Not necessarily. I'm
Oh.
taking that promise in writing, Dean. Now we do have some interesting discussions with some local officials or whatever in either Nassau or Suffolk County. So early stage is encouraging. Onward, everybody.
Thanks, John. I think Katie from Wine Country has also mentioned that they've gotten some pushbacks from DI clubs about having their arena playdowns there. I think some of that comes down to dollars. So that's something that we need to sort of figure out collectively. I do think if you're a designated or dedicated ice facility, and especially if you've made the transition yourself in the past, consider hosting a playdown for an arena club nationals or hosting this bonspiel. So I think that would be in the spirit of the curling community if clubs would be willing to take those on.
And actually, can I say something about that as well?
For sure.
So if you are a DI club, a dedicated ice club, consider reaching out to some of the arena clubs in your region about doing some kind of a friendly or something like that, right? Growing that spirit of curling, a fun spiel for a day, get some lunch, something like that. Because for an arena club, one of the biggest things that you can do to help member retention is getting on dedicated ice and playing at a real curling facility and seeing what's possible, right? So if an arena club reaches out to you about doing a friendly, consider it, because you're doing real work to help grow the game in that community.
Fran Walsh mentioned DFW, they went up and did a clinic at Rock Creek. They've been very supportive. So appreciate that. I'm going to close it out if there's no more questions and ask, there looks like somebody is typing, but while they're typing, if Theresa or Mitch, if you want to finish off with anything, this is your chance.
I think I just want to say that thank you for letting us present, and arena curlers, I'd say get out there, look at our platforms, go to a spiel, and we always encourage and want communication with the arena work group. We can only help if we know what needs to be done.
Absolutely, yeah. That's it.
Thank you, Mitch. Thanks, Theresa. And I'll see you at a meeting shortly or soon, I'm sure. So, all right. Thanks, everybody.